Hey everyone, David C. Anderson here coming at you from the Knife Center. We've got new brands and some new releases from some of our favorites right here on the table in front of me. The coolest new knives that have just hit our shelves. Let's get into it. All right, before we get to the first item, I want to announce something that we rarely get to talk about on YouTube here, and that is a knife giveaway. Yay! And there was much rejoicing. There's going to be a link in the description where you can go to the sign up page for that. Our hope is to keep doing this, not just the single knife we're talking about right now, but this is going to hopefully be an ongoing thing. We're working out some of the details right now, but the first item is the limited edition Para 2 or Paramilitary 2 with the Statue of Liberty and the cut through on the blade, and the box is signed by the Glessers. Eric Glesser, the heir to the Spyderco fortune, and Sal Fortune might, well, they're probably doing all right, but
real fortune is the knives we've met along the way.
Eric and Sal. Sal Glesser, of course, the founder of Spyderco. Eric, his son, the second generation leadership team, or leadership guy. Man, I'm just forgetting most of these words I've said, except for the ones that say giveaway, cool knife, link in the description.
Done.
There you go. Yeah, anyway. Fine print at the link below as well. Let's talk about the first knives. And the first knives today are from a new brand to the Knife Center, and that is Geoknife. And I want to talk about their Ethereal model, which is, quite frankly, a really good bargain and a design that's going to work, broadly speaking, for just about anyone. Really nice set of features that I appreciate in a small, standardly 3-inch sized knife. Let's talk about it. Prices start at 87 bucks and some change and go up to, where was it? The high end is reaching towards 223. This one right here in my hand is about 160. This is a good knife, this titanium handled version. The less expensive versions are even more compelling in my opinion because you've got M390 steel at that sub $90 price point. You're not going to get high-end, quote-unquote, handle materials, but they're not boring things either. We've got Ultim right here, and you've got G10 as options. See, I don't think any of the that price range has micarta. There are no micarta options, so never mind about that. There is a carbon fiber version, kind of sitting in between in price, but G10 or Ultim with an M390 blade, 90 bucks, drop point or clip point blades available, and just under 3 inches long, which means you can take it just about anywhere. I vote for the drop point because I like the all-around versatility that it offers. The handle is long enough and neutral enough that I can choke right up here and get a full 4-finger grip on the knife, and I can scoot back and get a little bit of index finger protection by that moderate guard right there. All features I really like very much. We've got a deep carry pocket clip. It is reversible with pocketed zones. It sits pocketed in the scales, and you have the blockout plate there to keep things level on the side you're not installed on which you are not installed. Words.
Could have installed a language pack.
Maybe. Crossbar lock, which means it's ambidextrous. The clip is ambidextrous. Well, the clip and the dual thumb studs make this a great option for any handedness. Very smooth action. It doesn't feel like ball bearings. It doesn't look like it either. Are these washers? Are these actual washers in the pivot? I thinkums they are. Very cool, huh? High performance steel at a bargain, at a very broadly adaptable shape. It's a lot to love. You can certainly jump up if you want to the higher end materials. This one right here is titanium. You've got a sort of dimpled texture going on, kind of like a cross between a honeycomb and like a golf ball dimpling going on. It's pretty cool. And this, of course, is showcasing the clip point blade option as well. Still M390 as well, but then the, like I said, the drop point is available also. Yeah, definitely doesn't feel like ball bearings. I don't see any bearings in there. It looks washery. And the feel needing just a hint of like self-lubrication to get going. I'm really satisfied with these. Check them out. we should hopefully be adding more of their brand as time goes on, but this model is a great place to start and a great bargain for the materials, I think. Next up, we have new versions of the Shift V3 out the front automatics from Axial. These are made in America. You've got Magna Cut blade steel. Do I need to explain it again?
You will.
It's great. There's a reason it's kind of the hottest, still the hottest in demand steel.
3 reasons, actually.
I'm not going to explain it today. Okay, I'm going to explain it.
Told you.
It's very tough. It holds an edge real well, and it's stainless. Most steels that do those first 2 things don't get to be stainless too. This gets to be stainless too. $289 for these. It's a bit of a jump up from the standard Shift V3s, and that is because we have inlays on the front and back. Mars Valley fat carbon or Nebula fat carbon in the double-edged blade, the Tonto blade, or the clip point blade, which actually it's over here. Might as well show it here. Although at this point we don't have the clip point in the Nebula, only in the Mars Valley. But these other 2 you can get in either of the 2 inlays. Each of them have the sort of like 3 gouges on either side of the blade, either in the middle or on the spine, which is sort of their signature design element. Action, very, very nice indeed. They do it really well. It's got a smoothness to it that is really nice, like a silky, damped feeling almost. Aluminum handles with a gray titanium Cerakote going on here. Gives it a little hint of texture and a bit of a different feel as well. We've got a milled deep carry pocket clip, which is reversible for left or right carry, making this another option that is great for lefties or righties. And yeah, it's a great OTF. The inlays add a little bit of difference to it versus some other things on the market. It helps it stand out a little bit. And if the visual aspect of it doesn't help it stand out to you, the feel in the hand is really good. Is really good. Check them out. Let's go back to some more budget stuff as we go on. Well, at least for the next couple of knives. From Ruike, spelled Ruike, but it's pronounced Rake. Pretty sure. This is the P856. $56 and change, or just under 57 actually right now. For that, you've got a blade that's about 3 1/8 of an inch long, clip point with Sandvik's 14C28N, and black G10 for the handles with a pivot collar. But those things together at this $57 price point is a pretty good combo, I would say. Yeah, the blade's not too thick. You've got a high flat grind. It's going to slice nicely. The handle is, I'm actually really appreciating this. It's similar in a little bit, or in some ways to that one SRM we looked at earlier this week. It's kind of got this blocky outline, but it's not like, don't use that in like a derogatory term. It's just, as opposed to the more kind of like elliptical or blocky shape, blobby versus blocky that we got going on right here. I like it. It's neutral. It fills the hand nicely and it fits a broad variety of hands nicely. The action on the crossbar here is really nice. Ball bearings in this case for sure. And I love that they've managed to keep the tang gap here between the blade and the handle completely closed in that closed position, even with a handle that comes all the way out, so to speak. You see that as well on the Geo knife, but the guard kind of comes back to meet where the blade is. There's many more famous knives that do something like this rake, but have the gap. Now we don't have the gap there. It's just really nicely executed, I gotta say. Fit and finish is great. Reversible pocket clip, deep carry. You don't get the blockout plate, but you do get it pocketed in, so it's nice and smooth. Yeah, it's nice too. Really good price. I mean, everything about that is nice. It's not necessarily like a premium feeling knife in terms of, higher end materials. It's more base materials just done really, really well. This next rake knife, the P166, feels a little more elevated, feels a little more high end in contrast to the previous one. We've got silver aluminum with a bit of a matte texture to it, really fine milling here along the top, which feels really good in the hand. It looks really nice too. 3.6-inch blade, Sandvik 14C28N. Again, price on this is about $87. Structurally, we've got that folded steel frame underpinning the aluminum here. Should help keep things very strong. Backspacer with a hidden lanyard point there. Big, long liner lock. Flipping action for days. Yeah, I mean, it's not a titanium frame lock flipper or a titanium liner lock flipper, but it's feeling like it's reaching to achieve that sort of feel without the expense of titanium. So this could be a really good option if you want that kind of flavor, but you don't necessarily have that kind of budget right now. Really, really nice. Deep carry pocket clip, right side tip up only in this case, but the liner lock is of course a right hand biased lock. So it's more forgivable than the crossbar locks that don't give us reversible clips. Yeah, like I said, feels good in the hand. You've got a little bit of an extra bit of blockiness here at the back, and that actually, for me, I always appreciate being able to really grip things with those back two fingers, and this gives you a good place to anchor if you need to push the knife when you actually are using it and not just admiring it. This next knife is worth admiring. That's probably its biggest selling point right here. The tortoise, or as the French say, tortoise. Maybe, probably.
I like turtles.
I like turtles. Turtle's not a tortoise, though. Sorry. This is a heck of a lot of knife. And honestly, it's not priced too expensively for what you're getting. About $220. I know it's not cheap, but it is massive. I mean, look at this thing. 3.7-inch giant sheep's footy cleaver style blade, S35 VN steel, titanium handles with a frame lock. It's a beast. It's a beautiful beast. Reverse flicks quite nicely. I just want to cut something with this, man. Feels good in the standard grip right here. If the handle, that's where you grip things. But the choke up position here around the pivot is well considered. It's not necessarily a finger choil, but it is a nice gentle curve that lets you choke up, and that feels really awesome. I just want to push this through some big cuts like that. I mean, it feels like you want to work. Big knife. Big knives are fun. It has a front flipper. Should I try it? No, I've given up on front flippers. I can't break my own rules now.
You gonna?
No, I'm not gonna. Dude, the theme now would be I would have to, because you said I'm not gonna due to the Magna Cut earlier. Couple different flavors of this at this time. You've got the black backspacer here as one of them, and the other is a purple backspacer with matching purple accents as well. Milled clip, ball bearings, frame lock. I mean, it's got, can you flick it? Oh, you can do that thing. Yeah. You should buy one and do that thing because it's fun.
Responsibly.
Of course. Of course. All right, Remette with the RT Infinite. Again, not cheap, but well, like high value for dollar. $239 right here. For that, you've got M390 for steel, a little over 3 inches long, about 3 1/8 or so. Milled titanium handles, gold anodized accents in this case. Several flavors are available at a similar price point. You've got a liner lock here instead. You've also got a pivot-based button.
Pebble.
A pebble. So you could hit the lock, flick it open, or flick it closed without your fingers ever getting in the path of the blade as you do it, provided you hold it without your fingers in the path of the blade. Very cool. Technically, you've got a front flipper here as well, in addition to the rear flipper here at the back. I was trying to do it without deploying it all the way.
Now you have to front flip.
I will slow roll it. How about that?
I'll just speed it up.
Yeah, good luck with that. That's cool, man. You've also got a secondary safety here. It doesn't work in the closed position to prevent it from opening, but it does engage in that open position. So if you're potentially concerned that you might accidentally hit the button while you're working with the knife, that secondary safety will keep things nice and secure for you. And basically, what that's doing is preventing the liner lock from disengaging. The button here itself isn't actually doing the locking. The button is just pushing that liner lock out of the way. That's how it works in this case. It's a really cool design. It's classy, it's high end. Elegant might not be the right term necessarily, but it feels very, very elevated. It is very, very cool.
Very Art Deco.
Yeah, I would say so.
It means the dwarves made it.
Ah, yes, very true. And if it were Art Nouveau, it would have been the elves, right? That's how this works. New fixed blade from Koenig Knives. This is the Helo, and attainably priced for a Koenig. Maybe that should be the title of this episode. They're not as expensive as you would think, something like that. Perhaps that will be the title that you clicked on. Perhaps it will not have been. This is coming in about $375. And no, I know, that is not cheap. But when you consider their Arius flippers and folders that we usually have are like, what, $800-900? Something like that, I think. I don't have any in stock right now to check. Well, we don't have any in stock on the website, so I can't even confirm that.
I have less than that.
This is a cool knife. In a way, this strikes me as a bit of a competitor to that new Chris Reeve fixed blade, the hiking fixed blade they have. And I'm forgetting the name of it, of course, as we talk about it. We'll put the picture and the name of it up here so you can see what I'm talking about. But it's definitely got more flair, a more dramatic shape to it. First and foremost, the harpoon point for one. And the handle has just more kind of hand lines and angles going on to it. Magna cut steel again, we know why that's great. Thickness is about 1/8 of an inch with a high flat grind, so it's not crazy slicey given the size here, but it's slicey enough to be a great hiking knife, a great hunter, a great everyday utility with some durability to the spine. You can kind of treat this a little bit rougher than a thinner slicier knife might allow it to be treated. The handles are micarta, and you'll notice no visible pins here from the outside, which is a very nice thing going on. Feels more luxurious, feels higher end for sure. I can't even tell you exactly how they are connected, whether there is any epoxy involved or not. I suspect not, but I have no idea because I can't take them apart to tell. And I can't see how it's taken apart to even make a conjecture. Anyway, how does it feel in the hand? Pretty nimble. I wouldn't necessarily, I was gonna say I wouldn't want to be carving for hours with it, but as I move up the handle just a little bit, which is the way I would usually do to get close enough to the edge, the way I like to carve anyway, that nestles in pretty nicely actually. My finger is kind of spanning the finger guard right there, my index finger is, but it doesn't feel in the way. So that's pretty cool. It feels nimble enough in a pinch grip. Yeah, a lot going on there. Lanyard point at the back. Let's check out the sheath. It is Kydex. It is nice, thick Kydex here. Extra durability involved there, I suppose. And an ulti-clip for carry, which means you could carry this inside the waistband. Probably too big for most people's pocket carry. 3 and 3/4 inch blade after all. But the hole spacing here will work with both standard and small tech locks if you've got them. And then any other kind of slotted mechanism like this ulti-clip should be able to find a home on the rivets on this sheath. No problem. Next up, more Magna Cut, the Boker BRLW. That's the way it's pronounced. There's no vowels in it. It's BRLW. BRLW, all caps, no vowels. Barlow. Hey, what are you gonna do? Someone has to keep me entertained, and if it's not gonna be anyone else here, it's gonna be me keeping myself entertained. And you guys are just kind of subject to it. Sorry. Folks. $170 for this, made in Germany, in Solingen, in the Boker factory proper. And with it, you've got textured black G10 with a faux wood grain. It's a little hard to see on this one. But this is just one of several versions of this. There are higher end titanium versions with Damascus steel and with Magna Cut steel as an option. But this one here, G10 with Magna Cut, German made, $170. You've got a milled pocket clip, you've got an inset liner lock for safety, and closed profile, really nice. It's a classic small pocket knife format. The Barlow, after all. It does what the Barlow did then, only it does it now with magnet cut steel and a subtle flipper tab that works a treat, I gotta say. It's not a lot to grab onto, but it feels easy to find and easy to flick. So there you go. No finger guard or anything to get in the way of the ergonomics, just an awesome basic pocket knife with modern shenanigans underneath. How about an old school, non-modern pocket knife with old school shenanigans underneath? The RoseCraft Cumberland River Coke bottle slip joint. I mean, we talked a lot about RoseCraft's slip joint in the last year or two since we've started carrying them. For the money, they're awesome. If they cost twice as much as they cost, they would still be awesome. So the fact that this costs about 60 bucks and you get the level of fit and finish that you do is kind of like, yeah, man, really cool. 3-inch blade, D2 steel, so it offers more edge retention than most classic slip joints. The handles on this one are toasted white bone, and I mean, it looks like toasted marshmallows, right? Right? It looks really good. Spade inlay or shield on the front. The half stop on these is always oh so nice. As you can see, walks and talks really, really nicely. I love the flare to that clip point shape on this one. And this does what a lot of RoseCrafts tend to do. They're doing classic patterns, but they aren't like copying exactly how any of them have been done in the past. This clearly has classic slip joint clip point blade sensibilities, but it's just a little bit different, a little bit distinctive. And that's a really, really nice thing. Check it out, 60 bucks. This toasted marshmallow is just one of the 2 available right now. What is the other one? The link on the side is not working. You can also get a light brown micarta at this point in time, same price. Now we come to Thomas's favoritist knife on the table because it has a mirror polished blade, which means that little bit of lint that was hanging out on the top is all the more apparent. The QSP Nebula, a bunch of versions of these have hit the site, and you've got, for about 95 bucks, a very fancy knife. You're not gonna get M390, even though you're paying more money than the Geo knife, but I mean, look how much nicer the QSP is finished. If you like this type of kind of like old school custom knife vibe, you've definitely got it with this. 14C 28N blade, just under 3 inches long. Technically a Tonto, maybe. We can kind of say that. There's just a hint of a hard transition right there, but man, if you sharpen that once, it's going away. This is a drop point. We're gonna say it. Hint, a hint point. Nice, nicely done. The handles on this one, we've got brass copper mesh resin, and we have what is that material on the pivot?
Blue.
It's not listed, of course. I know what it is. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't. It's that stuff.
Blue stuff.
It's really cool looking. Actually, it is really interesting to see this and the Geo knife next to each other. The design is very similar between the two. One's a flipper, one's not. The flipper version, of course, is I'm just going to call it a frame lock because I'm going to say these are big overlays on the top, and versus the crossbar lock, but that's kind of interesting. So yeah, a lot of the things that I said about the handle on the Geo knife, you could apply right here. I can definitely choke up and get all 4 fingers on this fancy blade, or choke back and get the finger protection a little bit more, in fact, thanks to the flipper tab right here. High polished all around. Let's check out the action. Definitely ball bearings in this one. Yeah, it's nice. It's snappy. Actually, I don't want to use the thumb studs on this knife. Flipper tab only for me, because this is so high polished. I started to push the thumb stud, and look, it's like walking out of my hand a little bit because of the slickness.
And you're gonna smudge the blade.
And you'll do that. Flipper tab.
I gotta clean it.
Flipper tab, no such hesitation whatsoever. It's just, yeah, it works as expected. Yeah, maybe just lose the thumb studs. That'd be me anyway. All right, how about a fixed blade sojourn for the video? From QSP also, we have the Baby Penguin fixed blade right here. 69 bucks. It's a real nice price. We've got this material on it, aluminum foil G10, as well as copper foil G10 with a black stonewash blade. Few options can be had or have just been added to the site. just over 2.5 inches on that blade. You've got that sheep's foot profile. The feel in the hand, it's about a 3-finger knife for me. Your mileage may vary if you have smaller hands. Mine are slightly larger than average, but not huge. But the 3 fingers definitely feel secure. If you were to throw a lanyard on the back of that, something for your pinky to grab onto, it would feel even more rock solid. Awesome utility knife right here. It pinch grips really nicely, so you're gonna be able to drag that tip along what you're cutting really well, and you can push really nicely into a cut. That jimping helps your thumb stay in place really nicely. Yeah, a lot of cool stuff right here. The sheath. It's a pocket fixed blade, hooray! Leather pocket sheath right there. Gotta love it. Nice, thick black leather, standard knife style clip on the side. And while it might be a little stiff, when you first get it, like any good leather sheath, it'll break in, and then I imagine this is gonna be just a silky smooth, everyday usable pocket fixed blade. If you're into the QSP fixed blades but want more, for a mere $10 more, the Tiny TOT. It's only tiny in comparison to a bigger knife because you could almost call the baby penguin the Tiny TOT right here. 3.5-inch blade, 10 CR series stainless, so it gives you something similar to VG10 levels of performance. Big, broad drop point blade, about 1/8 of an inch thick or so, it looks like. Let me check that, actually a little bit more. 165, yeah. I guess it is closer to 536. Anyway, G10 for the handles. A few different colors are available. Locked in grip for sure, thanks to that aggressive finger groove there at the front. Alternate grips, let's check it out. If I want to do like chest lever grip, doesn't feel super to me, but any kind of hammer or saber grip feels awesome. You don't even need to like choke up to get better carving because my hand's sitting in a really nice place already for that. But if I were to say what the primary use for this would be, this is kind of a survival hunting knife, I would say. With that amount of belly, it's all about the skin, the slice, that sort of thing. But you've got the chunk for it to take a real beating. At least it feels that way in hand. And the contour on the handle is actually really nice too. It's a little more complex than you might expect from a G10 handle. You can see these sort of things at these kind of prices with injection molding because you can get what would take several axes of cutting on a CNC machine to do.
So that language pack is still bending.
Oh man, I need a firmware update, or maybe I just need a coffee. I need to update my Java. That's what I need.
Or we go back to JavaScript.
It feels super strong. I like the ergos of it. I like the finger protection you get. That is something when I think of a quote-unquote survival knife, which is kind of what I'm lumping this into, hunting / survival. I like that finger protection for sure. The sheath is Kydex. In this case, it is green to match the handle. I'm not sure if the other handle colors have the same, but there's black and kind of a desert tan or coyote looking finish for the handles right now. Comes with a clip on the back, retention hook on the bottom, so it's not going to slip off the belt inadvertently, and you can rotate this for horizontal carry if you'd prefer that to the vertical right here. Let me just check real quick if you want to slap on a tech lock. Are these holes compatible? They look like they are, but let me just confirm. Yep, large tech lock compatible right there, or it's the VVT clip, which I had right there, which has the same hole pattern. Next up, same colors, different company, Boker. Like the BRLW from before, this is made in Solingen. This is the Bronco Mini with the new green handle, 3V for the blade steel, so very, very tough. Not stainless like a Magna Cut would be, but it still holds an edge great as well. Just under 153 for this. Blade length is 3.5. You've got the front section here sort of crisped up. So if you wanted to use this to strike a ferro rod, it would do it. If you wanted to use it to abrade material and scrape things to make fine tinder, it would do that as well. But back here where your thumb sits, it's a little more comfy. Handle is injection molded and very complex in its shape. You've got Green TPE has a bit of a rubbery texture to it. Really nice swell, fits my hands pretty nicely. Protruding tang there at the back, showing you this is a full length tang for sure. The back end of the tang is not crisp, however, so if you're thinking of wanting to use that side for your scraping, you'll have to crisp it up a little bit on your own, but you can certainly bash on it without damaging the handle as much thanks to that right there. Great all-around camper right here. Kydex sheath. Thomas, do you remember, was there attachment hardware in the box? Do we remember?
The box is closer to you, so.
All right. Comes with this attachment clip right here. It might be too narrow for your belt, so this would be more of an inside the waistband carry, I would say, unless you do have narrow belts. Large tech lock will work, however. But yeah, great smaller outdoor knife. Complement to a larger fixed blade, this would be a really great option. Good hiker as well. It's not super heavy. It's not an ultralight knife, but at 5.2 ounces for just the knife, it's not bad, especially considering the level of durability you're gonna get from this steel and this construction. Decent small hunter too, I would say. Next up, I'm gonna talk about these together. New Casstrom fixed blades with stained curly birch. We have, let me go through them here real quick. The Jarv with a 3.38 inch blade for about $192. We have the Lars Falt Jarv, which is this right here, for about $195. So only like, what's that, $3 more for 4.5 inch blade. So considerably, not an insignificant upgrade there. Or $180, so less money for the 4-inch blade of the number 10 Jarv. Interesting pricing. Not sure how to explain that exactly, but what are you gonna do? Steel is 15N20 on all of these. So it's gonna be very tough carbon steel right there. Holds an edge decently, pretty decently, I would say. But its claim to fame is gonna be a lot of toughness. And that's always a good thing on a Scandi ground blade like this, because it comes at a very steep angle right to a 0 point. There's no secondary edge. Without any kind of micro bevel or buffing, that can be somewhat of a fragile edge without the right treatment or material. So the materials are definitely a good choice here. They all feel really good. All Casstroms always feel really good. Yeah, I mean, this looks beautiful too. Black liners on all of them. I like it. The little Jarv is really nice too. Smaller blade, but really nice, a little more agile, a little more adept at the smaller carving work, or you can go with the larger ones if you want something more, so to speak. The cool thing about the Lars Felt version right here is, in a way, it's kind of like a budget Ray Mears Woodlore type of knife. It's not an identical shape, but it's not that far off either. And those knives can get very expensive and very hard to find, so this is available, which is very cool. I like the handle. I like the curly birch on here with that stain. You can get other versions too without the stain, and stainless steels as well in the lineup across the Casstrom stuff. These speak to me. And yes, I know I'm putting them up with the edge facing a different way than all the rest of the knives, because that's the side they put their logo on. And the logo faces up on this table. Sorry, not sorry. All right, polar opposite from this kind of rustic, classic type of construction. Hey, wait, I need to talk about the sheaths. They're leather, they're great. Here they are. Loop on the back, welt on the side. Brown stain, good, nice.
It is indeed made from cow.
We're gonna end with 3 Reate knives, so higher end flippers, all modern stuff. The Mantis, very cool. $347, you got a 3.6 inch L-Max blade. Sheep's foot style, but like a alien sheep's foot, because it's got a lot of or maybe afflicted with some sort of degenerative bone disease or something. Or maybe fungus under the hoof. I don't know.
I'm not a vet.
Titanium for the handles. We've got custom pivot front and back, and it does come with a wrench that will be able to adjust this for you, since a standard T8 or T10 or anything like that is not going to work, as you can see. Nice finish on the handle. Milling is interesting without being overbearing. We've got a milled pocket clip on the back. Nice facets here at the top to keep it from kind of being too jabby and pokey when you're reaching into your pocket for it. Inset liner lock, a really thick, chunky inset liner lock, as you can see right there. It gives you a good contact patch for the lockup. There are 2 opening methods, but like the Nebula, I don't like the thumb studs here, but for different reasons. Flipper tab works great. I'm not 100% convinced by the shape of these thumb studs right here, because while the knife doesn't want to slip on me, it's not catching my thumb. You kind of have to push out this way, and when you do that, it works well, but it's kind of a completely different way of thinking about using a thumb stud. Let me try a reverse flick. Yeah, I guess if you're in just the right position, it'll work. But I'm having to think about it a little more than I might typically like. Quality is world-class, however, as is anything that Reate does. There's a reason so many high-end companies use Reate as their manufacturer, because they do great work. This is the D9-V2 from Reate, light for its size, and that is thanks to the carbon fiber front with a vastly skeletonized liner on the underside of it. Weight is 4.23 ounces, which is, again, not feather light, but again, because most knives of this style tend to feel a little bit heavier, it feels notably lighter as a result. $290, 3.6 inch clip point blade. We've got CPM 154, so the powder metal version of that steel, not just your garden variety 154 CM, allows it to be tougher, which will allow the edge to stand up to kind of rougher abuse than your standard 154 CM will do. Handles are titanium. You've got the frame lock. You've got a stabilizing disc here at the back, retention or a lock bar interface, of course, as most good titanium frame locks these days have. Let's check out the action. Oh yeah. What can I say? It's a good. Let's check out the thumb stud action. Haven't checked that out yet. It's also good. Thumb studs are oversized and also act as the stop pin here at the back. Hidden lanyard point, nice beveled milled pocket clip at the back. Again, keeping your hands nice when you go back in. Cool, we good? Last but not least, probably the most technically impressive knife of these 3 Reates, but the least expensive. This is the Jack Jr. For $250, and if you're familiar with the Jack series, you will know it is an integral. So we've got, here's why it's less expensive. It's aluminum as opposed to titanium. Could have fooled me, man. It feels great. I wouldn't have expected, or actually wouldn't have gone, hey, that's not titanium. It's just nicely done. So yeah, single piece of aluminum, front to back. Then you've got carbon fiber scales on top of it, or inlays, we'll say, and a sub-mounted frame lock right there as well. Milled deep carry pocket clip. And actually, this might be the other reason it's why it's not as expensive as anticipated. Again, not as expensive as you might have thought. S30V for the blade steel right here. Still very capable stuff, but it's not the latest and greatest kind of most hyped steel anymore. But it's a great steel. 3.4 inch blade. Lockup feels good. Action feels good. I realize I said that in reverse order of the action I was taking when I said those words, but I stand by it. Yeah, man. Very cool. I like the layers of the carbon fiber here. Instead of the weave, you get more distinct layers. It just looks really cool. Anyway, that's all we've got for today, folks. I know this might have been a longer one. That's because we've got a lot of new stuff for the holidays. It's just what happens.
On top of the one earlier.
On top of the one earlier this week. That's why we had 2 episodes this week, each with more knives than a typical episode can contain. Thank you for sticking around with us for it. Anyway, check out the links for that giveaway down in the description, as well as links to these knives if you want to get your hands on them. That'll take you over to KnifeCenter.com. And don't forget about our long-running Knife Rewards program or our installment payment options at checkout if you want to make things a little more easy to manage this time of year. I'm David C. Anderson from the Knife Center. That's Thomas behind the camera, and we're signing off. See you next time.